It's Sunday, February 26, 2023, and welcome back to Live at Urban Wild. Wishing everyone a wonderful beginning of their week. If it's your Sabbath day today, enjoy your rest. If it isn't your Sabbath day today, then enjoy the beginning of your week, or whatever it is to you. Today is a special day, because we're back here at Urban Wild, able to share the abundance mentality with our constituents, as we call them. In this case, at the moment, being cats. We're happy the other 23 hours to be also doing activities with humans and other sentient beings. Not all humans are sentient, but we give them the benefit of the doubt. These are some new constituents here that are finding how welcoming our party is. That is the injured cat with the injured back. I'm just trying not to sneak up on it. You can see along the wall, it's hard to see through the fence, but along the wall there's feeding spots. Cats are getting their parts. Here's my pedicurist. This beautiful cat is new to the party. Happy to welcome it. And all the other cats to represent what they represent, besides the fact that each one of them themselves is a living thing. A being that was put on this earth for some reason. To teach us something, to interact with us, to tell us something, to show us something. Didn't get here by mistake. Although it might have been planned by humans, but as the saying goes, humans plan and the creator laughs. This cat also has a huge gash in its back, which is not the same as the other cat over there with a gash in its back. There's at least two that have very serious back injuries. I just noticed this is one. The one on that side, which I haven't seen until now. And the other one that's over there eating on the fence is the one we've been following. So of course all these other cats that don't have the same back injury, this one now that's learning to be submissive is very aggressive, but is very friendly to me. Don't know what happened to that cat on the wall with the gash in its back. I don't know what happened to half these cats. They come here barely alive with injuries, but we're consoled in the fact that we can offer them a safe zone where they get to, as well, feel safe, where they get to get some food, some water, some community, and they get the strength to go on. Where we try to share here compassion, forgiveness, compassion, hope, and trust. And the community that's built around this, that has come together around this, is just remarkable. These three here are tiny new kittens that have just come off the wall, which means they just finished nursing. They were weaning and now they're part of the party. One of those three is the one we call Aphrodite, which is a new kitten that comes for attention. Of course, there's the hierarchy. They're all learning the politics of dancing. They're learning the pecking order here. The politics are quite amazing, but they're managing. We try to not let it get too out of control, but we also try to not intervene too much, because most of the time we're not out here to save them and protect them. We have very big announcements to make, very, very big initiatives we're doing as far as bringing freedom and bringing choice and bringing a voice to the voiceless. We're steps away from going to the Hague, to the Human Rights Tribunal, to demand the rights of constituents that we have here in Israel and other places that have no voice, that we've been fighting for years, since the last time we were in the Supreme Court. The problem is there's no Supreme Court now, there's no government, and there's no system here with which to hold anyone accountable to anything. The good news and the bad news is it leaves it up to us. It leaves it up to us. The question is, how do we deal with it? So anarchy has a bad name to it. It makes it sound like we're looking for evolution and for destruction, but it just means self-rule, especially when the governing body or the people in power aren't using their power properly, or effectively or efficiently. And when we're left with having to care for ourselves, well, we have to care for ourselves. So specifically, we're talking about a very specific case that, yes, was in the news, it was on TV, it was in the newspapers back then. It reached the Supreme Court, and due to system failures, it couldn't be properly adjudicated. It was called Solomon's Trial, referring to the famous biblical account of King Solomon having to make the impossible choice of splitting a child in two. We had a similar case with a foster child, a special needs foster child, who very simply, due to the fact that the system wasn't meant for individuals, the child's needs had to be sacrificed, not the child itself. We're happy to say that the child survived and is still alive, and now he's an adult. But due to the fact that he has special needs and can't represent himself, falls between the cracks of the system. We're advocating back for the child to get what his human and civic rights, besides his special needs rights, are. And now we're at the point where he should be emancipated, should be off the system, especially when the system isn't helping him. They should be allowed to get the care and the service and the life that he needs and deserves and wants, especially since it doesn't hurt or cost anybody any money. Well, that's kind of the key, because not costing anyone money means the people making money on it now have what to lose. And sadly, that's what drives most things, because in these systems that are run inefficiently, the reason for them being run inefficiently is because there's people, there's entire systems that are living off of other people's needs and other people's services, and the leeching of those parasites, I hate to say, but there's no other better word for it, the leeching of the parasites become the virus and the pandemic of themselves. So the problem here is that management, government, leadership, other management, leader groups, social groups, whatever they are, NGOs, community leaders, we've lost our senses dealing with what the system has told us for years and generations of what's important and urgent. We've been mixed up and confused between, yes, we know what's important, but we always have to deal with what's urgent. Crises being created out of nothing to develop the scarcity mentality. So we're always dealing with what's urgent instead of what's important. The problem is that by never dealing with what's important, our value system changes completely. We forget what's important. We don't even know how to value what's important for things that we can never get to. They're left out in the impossible category of empty dreams. But they don't have to be empty dreams when they're realizable, when they're fixable, when they're doable. Today's Ultimate Solution since 1987 has been working on that, developing solutions with always the next, to get to the next level of potential. And here we are now, we've realized our full potential to the point where we can live guilt-free, and that means different things to different people. We can live guilt-free lives where everybody gets what they need, everything they need, a lot of what they want. There's a kitten in the tree here that's just so adorable. And it doesn't have to cost anyone more than what they can afford. So it's affordable, and if it provides all of your needs and even covers a lot of your wants, what could possibly be wrong? Well, what's wrong is that it takes the competition, it takes the jealousy, it takes the predatory, the competitive factor out of it, which for a lot of people is or was the drive, but it shouldn't be anymore when that's just destructive and to the point of self-destructive. We don't even get a chance to benefit from the things that we have because we're always competing for the next better thing, or for a way to outshine and to show up other people. So with our concept called ugly.me, UGLI, you gotta love it. It's a system that teaches how to get everything you need and most of what you want, as long as you strip off the brands, has been a success. The ability to teach people how you can have any kind of life experience, real, virtual, simulated or otherwise, without any compromise of experience. And it doesn't have to hurt anybody, where you can have 3D printers to print anything, including living organs, including food, including alternatives to other guilt-derived or guilt-sourced products or services. There are guilt-free solutions for everything now. So to be very clear, we are finalizing the last stages of our lawsuit, which on one level is a class action lawsuit. Another level is a very specific human rights violation lawsuit that is going together to the Hague, to the Human Rights Tribunal. to demand the freedom, the emancipation of one particular person who now is an adult by age, but not necessarily by function due to developmental issues that are nobody's fault that we know of. We're not looking to blame. But where nobody cares, people like that are left to fall between the cracks, where people are making money, soliciting money, spending money, and the benefits are not seen to the constituents. So we're fighting, we're taking it to the next level, we're finally ready to pull the trigger, as it's called, but without any violence. These are metaphors, euphemisms. We're not shooting anyone. There are no triggers in the sense of violence or combustion or firepower. Trigger meaning just to the next event, the next level, where we will force by simply disclosing and revealing the secrets that have been holding corrupt systems together, by divulging those dirty secrets through undercover boss type investigative journalism. We have proven and we have records to explain and expose all the flaws in the system from the bottom up, from the top down, any direction you want to go. Sadly, from experience, not just from theory. We'd rather not do it in any violent way. We'd rather not cause any kind of fallout. The problem is there's already no leadership in the government. There's already no leadership in the court or in the judicial system. So it's almost like no one will notice, no one will care, no one will miss anything. The problem is we want people to see what we're doing, so they should realize and recognize what we're doing is completely altruistic, completely for the sake of helping people that have no voice. And that's the next stage. So we're letting people know. I don't want to say it's a forewarning, although it is. This is the calm before the storm. And of course using the cats as a backdrop, as a reference, as a metaphor, but also as a real life example of how in a non-political way, with voiceless constituents, we can make a difference that makes a real difference. So wishing everyone a wonderful rest of your week. We'll see you on the other side. Boker Tov.